आज की कहानी एक ऐसे लीडर की है जो पहले समुद्र पर कमांड करते थे और आज हेल्थ सिस्टम्स को स्टीयर कर रहे हैं। फ्रॉम वॉरशिप्स टू वॉर रूम्स, ही इज लिव्ड डिसिप्लिन, स्ट्रैटेजी एंड सर्विस इन एवरी अवतार। 25 साल तक इंडियन नेवी में देश की सेवा की और अब हेल्थ केयर में नए स्टैंडर्ड सेट कर रहे हैं, क्लैरिटी के साथ, कंपैशन के साथ। He is not just a CEO, he is a mission-led change maker, bringing equitable healthcare to the heartlands of India. Join me today in conversation with Commander Navneet Bali, retired Executive Director and the Chief Executive Officer of ClearMedi Healthcare, for a masterclass in leadership, transition and purpose-driven transformation. चलिए शुरू करते हैं एक और एपिसोड ऑफ टिप्सी टॉक्स, जहां बात होती है असली कहानियों की, बिना किसी फिल्टर के। वेलकम कमांडर नवनीत बाली, the Executive Director and CEO of ClearMedi 2.0, as he calls it, to Tipsy Talks.
Thank you so much, sir. Absolute an honor to be talking here today. Someone who's from my own squadron in India. And I think nothing could have been better than sitting and talking to you on this lovely morning. It's beautiful weather in Delhi today. But thank you so much for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Without wasting time, like good cheetahs, Navneet, we'll just sprint on. From a small village called Laridora in the jungles of Baramulla to NDA and then to the Navy, it's a quite a unique, long and a checkered career that you have. What is the leadership foundation which became the legacy during this entire course, and how did this foundation shift when you suddenly switched gears and moved out of the uniform and entered the healthcare set?
I think it's a brilliant question, very, very close to my heart. So this, my village, Laridora, it's a small village ahead of Baramulla.
Okay.
So we remember every May, June, we used to travel from Jammu to Srinagar, sitting in that old creaky SRTC bus. Those days, I'm talking about 1970s and 80s. And that bus used to start early morning from Jammu and reach Srinagar in the evening. My Buaji used to stay in Srinagar. We used to stay in Amira Kadal. I remember that place also. Next day morning, we used to walk to Batmalu, and from Batmalu take a bus to Baramulla. And then from Baramulla, we used to take another bus to a place called Heaven. Okay. And this Heaven is on the Baramulla Sheri Road, which many people have not gone, but I think army guys would have traveled there. And from Heaven, we used to walk to Laridora, which is almost like a 5-hour walk through jungles. There was no bus, there was nothing. If we got lucky, somebody from the village used to send a horse to us so that the saman used to be kept. And a lot of these rotis and all we used to carry from the bakery in Srinagar. Raste mein, we used to sit down near a stream. It used to be flowing water, and all of us used to go to Laridora. So Laridora, the village, is a very small village, very close to Gulmarg. Now it's about 35 minutes by SUV that you can go there. But those days there were no roads, no buses, nothing. The village did not have electricity. I mean, the water used to be brought down. Our house was on top of a hill. We used to walk down, and so the initial formative years were in a place which was this. And one more very interesting thing, this village was a village almost in a 20-kilometer radius. Ours was the only Hindu family there. Okay. I mean, the fabric of the society was so strong and so amazingly good. So, I mean, we used to just walk through the jungles and reach the village. And as you rightly said, the initial hardening was already started happening, traveling through mountains, 5-hour journey. Okay. And all that was happening. And then of course NDA happened, and as you rightly know, I think we all love that place. But those days when you join as a first and second termer, I mean, every day you're praying, when you become a fifth termer or sixth termer. But very clearly, one single thing that has kept with me throughout the NDA was service before self. And despite the fact that I moved on to healthcare later on, but this ethos, which has helped me in good stead completely, from the days of NDA till today, has stayed with me. The second very, very beautiful, thought I always remember, and something, every day morning, we used to go to the NDA, our own squadron parade ground, and rattle out the NDA prayer. And second termers used to be the one because first termer was in Khorpuri NDA, the second termer was in NDA, and we had to mug it up. But one line which has again stood with me and holds a good thing throughout my journey was the harder right is to the easier wrong. So these two beautiful, very, very lovely sentences or words or phrases of service before self and leadership, I think the quintessential quality of a leadership starts actually at this statement called service before self. Everything flows from here. And the second important thing is, we must do the harder right instead of the easier wrong. And that somehow, that prayer of NDA has remained with me. So from the, going through the jungles of, Baramulla to my village, Leridora, staying their life in that small village where there was no electricity, no flowing water, nothing at all. And then to NDA, I think a lot of things remain common when I also learned one very, very important thing, sir. And that was, and I've practiced it, that this whole concept of smart work never worked with me. It was always the hard work. And especially when you are trying to learn something, when you're trying to be in the initial phases. As a first and second termer, there is, of course, you want to be smart so that you don't get caught, but that's a separate part. But for PT, for parade, and I was a dead sinker in NDA, it was a pure, simple slog throughout what you wanted to do. And so I think these were the themes: hard work, more than smart work, service before self, and the harder right instead of the easier wrong have always remained with me throughout my journey.
Excellent. Navneet, incidentally, I must mention it here for the audience that 87 is the year that you joined, and 87 is the year, which I got commissioned. And you had 25, fantastic years of service with the Navy till you left in 2014. So, how did this switch come about from commanding naval warships to commanding a healthcare chain now? And when you decided to, move on, was it a career? Did you look at it as, as a career or just a mission?
Yes, so to be very, very frank with you, sir, over a period of last 10, 15 years, as you go on this spiritual journey, you start thinking about certain concepts of life. It happens to all of us.
Right.
So I'm a great believer in destiny. And to answer your question in one single sentence, I never ever planned to join the healthcare. It was never in the agenda. I was never ever looking at a second career for quite some time. It suddenly happened.
Right.
And going into and joining a hospital was pure destiny. I am neither a doctor, nor I was trained to be a healthcare leader, nor I have a diploma or a degree in hospital management. Nothing. It was absolute pure providence. It was destiny that I, came into healthcare. And once I came into healthcare, then of course it became like a second blood to me, and second skin to me. And first hospital, it was a leadership role. Then I moved to another organization in a leadership role, into a third organization, which was one of the mecca of healthcare. Narayana Health, almost 5.5 to 6 years there. And then this role now. So most of the roles were in leadership. And this is some realization I have now that the skills particular or typical to a profession can be learned, but the leadership that you have, I think, which you require at the topmost level, has been learned in my formative years, during my childhood, in NDA, and then Indian Navy. And everything that I learned in these years came handy. So it was a branch or this one which was completely alien to me, but somehow with the God's grace, with the help of a lot of friends and a lot of people, the teams that I had, here I am, that I've been in healthcare now almost for 11 years.
Excellent. Navneet, you are actually a proponent of a healthcare model, which I'll quote unquote, which puts people before profit and purpose before process. Something akin to the service before self, the credo that you still imbibe and, you've enshrined for the rest of your life. And while doing that, you always put, you try to erase the geographical constraints which people have when it comes to getting good healthcare, right? So, and accordingly, you chosen, Nanded, Gwalior, Varanasi, small towns instead of metros and bigger cities. So, why did you do that? Was this decision an emotional one, or was it a strategic decision? Looking forward ahead in future.
Sir, over my formative years in healthcare, I'm talking about, I headed three organizations. The first one was Rockland Hospitals, which I joined.
Right.
Then thereafter moved to International Oncology, and then to Narayana Health.
Okay.
Both Rockland and International Oncology, a lot of things were fait accompli. Although I was in the leadership role, but a lot of things I was just absorbing, and they were very tactical in nature, the execution level, and very, very tactical.
Right.
When I joined Narayana Health, and I came across this absolutely amazing gentleman called Dr. Devi Shetty,
Right.
who is the owner, chairman of Narayana Health.
Okay.
I mean, that is the time I was given this role of starting Narayana Health in the North region. There was no NH in the North region.
Okay.
And I was given a lot of freedom. And we had a hospital in Katra, Jammu Kashmir, called Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Narayana Super Specialty Hospital.
Right.
Then we had, these four hospitals in North Zone. That is the time this whole concept of keeping patients before profits started. Dr. Devi Shetty was one of the people who started very, very low cost cardiac surgeries in India.
Okay.
And he is the proponent of, affordable healthcare in India. And here is where I got a chance. And he said, Navneet, this is what the ethos of the company is. We want you to establish North region, keeping these ethos in mind. So those thoughts of keeping people, the patients first, profit later. Just to give you some examples, whenever we had a disagreement on a bill in NH, I'm talking about, we always gave the benefit out to the patient. We never argued.
Right.
Many corporate healthcare, many corporate hospitals became very, very infamous. You must have heard this. Somebody passed away, and the hospital is not allowing to take the body away.
Yes.
Because the bill is pending. Then people are fighting for a bill. For me, the instructions given to the entire team was very, very simple. 5 minutes was the time. That's all. No questions asked, whether it's a 20 lakh bill or 30 lakh bill or 1 crore bill. Somebody has passed away, we would allow the body to be taken immediately.
Okay.
Whenever there was an argument on a bill, it was given to the patient, the doubt. Many patients came to us who did not have money to pay. We said, whatever you have, please pay it.
Right.
During COVID, the organization did not take a single paisa more than in the vaccination. So now coming to ClearMedi Healthcare, when I had this opportunity to start ClearMedi Healthcare 2.0, we coined this beautiful term. See, you must have heard the mission and vision of organizations. They are long statements. Nobody remembers it. Nobody even identifies with it. But we came out with this very beautiful statement, which I came out with, and we are trademarking it now. Everyone, everywhere, equally. It actually sums up everything that I want to do in healthcare. Everything.
Okay.
Everyone. That means you do not discriminate between whether you're a panel patient, cash patient, poor patient, rich patient. Who you are, we do not discriminate. So everyone, everywhere. We go in places where nobody wants to go. Smaller towns, smaller villages. We have a cancer center in a place called Goraj near Baroda. We have 3 linear accelerator of machines in which patients are treated. All these are tribal patients of Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. So everyone, everywhere. And the third one was equally. That was very important. Many, many times, hospitals would discriminate. A cash patient, they would treat better. They would not treat a panel patient better, or they would not treat a poor patient better. So this was a very conscious decision. It was nothing to do with business. But I always realized one more thing. Healthcare was not a pure business like a brokerage, let me say. It was a responsibility towards the society, no doubt about it. So healthcare could not be seen as a normal, regular business which you otherwise see. So there was a societal responsibility. There was something that you had a chance to bring on equality amongst all people. And for us, all patients were equal. And it also made good business sense indirectly. When you have this ethos, you feel there's a pride in you. A lot of good doctors join you because they also want to do great things. You go into territories which nobody wants to go. So eventually, it is good for business. But what we wanted to do was to walk on the path which was actually summed up in everyone, everywhere equally. That's what ClearMedi is all about.
Excellent. I think that's a very, very noble foundation that you guys are working on, and I wish you all the luck and success. And may your hospital chain grows, from the numbers that you have today to many more numbers and multiple times, and reach all the nooks and corners of the country today to provide this, everyone, everywhere, and equally healthcare to everybody. All right, Navneet, that takes me back to the time when one of your hospitals was, launched in Varanasi. And वो गंगा से लॉन्च हुआ था. So was it healthcare, was it heritage, what is the, what is the significance of that moment? What does that moment, what does this event symbolize to you?
So Varanasi came out something where we actually wanted to always go. And by the way, this was again the hospital where it is located. There are a lot of poor people that we would be treating. In addition to the who's who of Varanasi, the hospital is a beautiful hospital. But we wanted to make the signing very very special.
Okay.
I mean that was and we wanted to make it very special. So when it was an operations and management contract, so the owners of the hospital, I gave the idea to them, and they were so happy. I said, never, ever, ever. A business contract was signed on a boat inside Ganges as the Ganga Aarti, happened in the background, and you won't believe it. It was absolute rain. I mean, but at that particular moment, maybe God's destiny or just coincidence. At that moment, because we had huge bunch of papers to be signed or things to be done, at least one signature, and then give it back. There was no cover at all if you've seen the photographs. And luckily, at that particular time, the rain stopped, and we wanted to do it on the Ganga Aarti. We wanted to do it as a spiritual moment. We wanted to do it as a because it was something that we wanted to do, which has never ever been done ever, that you're signing a contract on Ganga Aarti.
Okay.
And so this moment was captured, and I think it will always remain a heart. The full team was in the boat, the family of the owners, his wife, the daughter-in-laws, their doctors again, the son, everybody was in the boat. And when we signed it, the feeling was absolutely surreal. Ganga Aarti was going on in the background.
Okay.
Ganga was flooded because those were the monsoon days, and it was quite this one was quite high. But we signed it,
okay,
and we dedicated that hospital to everything that is good in humanity. Everything good which is across, which permeates all religions, which permeates all of us as humanity. And it was dedicated on this beautiful river, which is spiritual in nature more than religious. And and we thought that from Himalayas up to when it completes the journey up to the delta in the Bay of Bengal, I think Ganga symbolizes a lot of things that India is all about, and we wanted to do it on the river, and that's how it happened.
Excellent. Oh, it must have been a very, very auspicious moment for everyone around. And we now move on to running the hospitals. That's a basic job. And I have seen your quote somewhere saying that hospitals must run like warships, mission driven and efficient. And there are a lot of technologies that you have introduced, Navneet, into the running of the systems like AI, robotics, and ATMA and all. But I personally believe that one strong driving force, which is the key to success in such hospitals and such businesses where the human interaction is at the peak, is empathy. So, how do you ensure that there is adequate empathy in the environment, and how do you sustain and maintain that empathy?
So, very, very valid point. As we move on to technologies, for example, AI, and you also have technologies where there is an electronic medical record, so doctors do need a lot of typing. But I think consciously we wanted to retain the empathy part and human touch very, very importantly. You won't believe in places like Nanded, places like Goraj. When we move out of Delhi NCR, we understand that people there still do not use smartphones. They have a small phone, which is that Nokia 1101, which we used to have, Chota Sa, and that's what they use. And for them, it doesn't matter whether I'm using AI or having a linear accelerator, which is a 20 crore machine, it's a novel technology, it doesn't matter to them.
Absolutely.
What it matters to that person is when he or she is sitting in front of the doctor is empathetic, he or she talks to them properly, the treatment is proper, and they want to go. So we realize that do not measure healthcare in India from the lens of a metro city. Do not measure it from Bombay, Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai. Please go outside 40, 50 kilometers, outside, and then have a look at what India is, what people are. So although the youngsters might have smartphones today, but that is not the people who are coming to you. They could also come to you, but everyone downline, they look for empathy. So as we moved into technology, we use AI today, many things which are deep embedded in the background, not in the front. When the doctor is sitting in the front of the patient, there is no AI there. It is the doctor, it is his touch, it is his voice, it is the way he looks at the patient. what he's doing on the computer, what is happening in the background, what analytics I'm using, what great machines he is treated on, what robo is doing is nowhere there. Right now, it is one human being who's a patient sitting in front of the doctor like the olden days, where just by talking to a good doctor, half the disease or half his anxiety goes down.
Yep.
And we wanted to keep that ethos into ClearMedi. And I'm very happy to say that all our doctors, as they use technology, as they use EMR, as they use AI, as they use robotics, they still retain the same human warmth that was in those days, which they call the bygone days or the bygone era.
Okay. Well, that's a fantastic, and I believe that's it's a very strong edifice that ClearMedi 2.0 is being built on, and it's a fantastic way to get across, reach, and as you said, half the problems get sorted by a smiling doctor when he welcomes you with open arms and say, "How are you?" All right, Navneet, we'll move on here from here now to a very fast kind of a round, which I call Tipsy 10. So I'm going to fire, 10 torpedoes since you're a naval man at you. You can duck, you can evade, or you can, give me a small little retort which can diffuse the torpedo. Are you ready for this?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Okay, the first one coming your way. Baramulla Jungle Life or NDA Parade Ground? What toughened you more, Navneet?
No doubt about it, NDA Parade Ground. Baramulla Jangala is most fun and frolic. NDA was where it all happened.
Excellent. Okay, one leadership lesson which NDA and specifically, the Charlie Gordon taught you that the corporate leaders often miss.
Service before self, no doubt about it. That is the lesson I've always kept with myself. And I think Charlie Gordon also, and so all the squadrons, they taught the same thing.
Absolutely. All right, the next one. Digital health, hospital infrastructure, or rural outreach. Which excites you the most today?
Rural outreach excites us the most today. That is where the problem lies, and India has to do something much more than that. Digital things will continue to happen, but what excites me is rural outreach.
Absolutely. All right. In your own word, as the ED and CEO of ClearMedi in one word, or let's say I'll give you a sentence, one sentence.
Everyone, everywhere equally. That's what ClearMedi stands for.
Oh, that's a really nice one. All right, the next one. The biggest misconceptions civilians have about the Navy.
Civilians actually don't know much about Navy at all. And I think a lot of people say that it's quite like the merchant Navy where you sail out for 45 days, have fun and frolic. It is nothing but that. I feel it's one of the toughest service, as tough as any one of our services. And also, since you're out of the land, you're basically human beings love to live in land. It's extremely, extremely tough. And a lot of people don't know this.
Excellent. All right. If not healthcare, Navneet, what would your second innings would have been like?
I would have been either a farmer or a teacher.
Okay. All right. One moment from your, 11 years of healthcare journey now, which still gives you goosebumps.
COVID time when people were dying on the street without oxygen, that time doing everything that I could, being in the hospital every day, I think nothing, more than that ever. And that memory will remain with me, till I live.
Okay. All right. Your go-to personal mental health hack after a very stressful boardroom meeting.
Getting myself out of these social media apps, WhatsApp and all mobile completely disassociating myself and spending some time with my family. I think that is something, it's my biggest mental health hack. Yeah.
All right. Okay. What are the three naval principles, the principles of Navy rather, which still shape your decision making in a healthcare boardroom?
Navy, Shanno Varuna, is the basic ethos of Navy. It talks about let's see, be calm. So I think one of the most important is tenacity, because naval life is quite different from what the normal land lover line is. That's something. Second is, operating away from your comfort level, because again, you sail out, you're on your own and nobody's there. And third, of course, remains common throughout, and that's leadership of the officers. And that is who command the men. I think that is something that has stayed with me always.
Excellent. We come to the last one now. Navneet, if Navy gave you discipline, what did healthcare give you?
Healthcare gave me empathy. Healthcare gave me a chance to do something for the good, despite the fact that I am always been in for-profit hospitals. ClearMedi Healthcare also is a Morgan Stanley invested company or owned company. But this is where I really, really got a chance to actually serve people truly, not just as one single sentence, into this rural, areas of India. This is where I got the chance. I'm very, very thankful to God that I got. Not only that, let me also tell you, many of our armed forces से जो हमारे veterans हैं, I mean, a lot of people in uniform, a lot of people have reached out to me many times. I'm so grateful, that I got a chance to help everyone who was in uniform or out of uniform. And by the way, one of my articles has talked about a lot of things that we do for veterans in our hospitals. We have a separate veteran desk. We have people to take care of veterans, upgrades. We have people to, if there's an old veteran who cannot travel to a hospital, we send a gadi to, pick that veteran up. And I think I'm doing a lot of things for veterans. And hospitals gave me a chance and healthcare gave me a chance.
Excellent. Navneet, the last 20-25 minutes, it was a very interesting and inspiring to know about your journey. And I'm really touched by the motivation levels that you have and the way you're charged up to make a difference in the healthcare sector in India. The audience would have also loved it. Now, before leaving, if you could just leave the audience with one message, one strong message that they could think upon and imbibe.
Yeah, I think we did a video some days back about wellness, and I just want to leave everyone with simple one or two wellness, I would say codes if they follow. And we started with 4 W's or 5 W's, you can call it. One is to do with, your the diet. So watch your diet,
Right.
walk for 20 minutes at least every day. Warmth towards animals, plants, and fellow human beings. It brings an emotional connect and gives you spirituality. Then to look after, do some basic, at least once in a year, do a health checkup so that you do forward. Maybe you should do it every year.
Right.
Water, at least drink sufficient water. So I think these 4, because I'm in the healthcare industry,
Okay.
have empathy, have warmth, drink water, walk for 20 minutes, watch your diet. I think these are sufficient. Please believe you me, human body has a great strength to cure itself many times. Believe in your body. It takes time, although I'm in healthcare, corporate healthcare. But please keep away from hospitals. If you have one sentence to tell, keep away from hospitals.
Okay.
Be healthy. And these small 5 hacks that I've given you, I think they'll be a great thing for you. Thank you.
Excellent, Navneet. I think those are real gems, and the viewers would have really lapped it up. And there was an excellent thing that you said about, with the smirk in your face, stay away from the hospital. I think that's the best thing. And it was really a very enjoyable conversation with you, Navneet. And I got this opportunity to get to know you a little better, get to know your mission a little bit better. And on behalf of the entire audience base that I have, I wish you lots of success in the coming years. And may you grow from strength to strength with each passing day. Thank you so very much, Navneet, for being on this show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. It was an honor, absolute honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. आज के इस एपिसोड से मुझे 3 मुख्य टेकअवेज नजर आए. नंबर 1, लीडरशिप यूनिफॉर्म से नहीं नजरिए से होती है. Commander Bali's journey proves that true leadership adapts, whether you're commanding a ship or leading a healthcare revolution. Number 2, healthcare is the new battlefield and empathy is the new weapon. Rural outreach, equitable access, and people-first innovation. Healthcare leadership today demands heart, not just hierarchy. और नंबर 3, ट्रांजिशंस तभी स्मूथ होते हैं जब वैल्यूज कांस्टेंट रहती हैं. Discipline, integrity, or clarity. The Navy gave him the code, and he applied it in the corridors of healthcare with unwavering commitment. From naval decks to boardrooms, Commander Navneet Bali ने हमें ये दिखाया कि लीडरशिप सिर्फ यूनिफॉर्म का बैज नहीं है, वो एक माइंडसेट होता है, एक मिशन होता है. हेल्थ केयर जैसे कॉम्प्लेक्स इकोसिस्टम में भी उनका विजन क्लैरिटी के साथ चल रहा है, इक्विटी, एक्सेसिबिलिटी और इनोवेशन के लिए. अगर नेवी ने उनको डिसिप्लिन सिखाया तो हेल्थ केयर ने उन्हें डीपर एम्पैथी सिखाई. ऐसे इंस्पायरिंग कॉन्वर्सेशंस के लिए जुड़े रहिए टिप्सी टॉक्स के साथ, जहां हर एपिसोड एक नया पर्सपेक्टिव, एक नई कहानी लेकर आता है. मैं हूं टिप्सी वदावा, आपका होस्ट. मिलते हैं अगले मंडे एक नए लीडर के साथ, एक नए सिपाही के साथ. तब तक के लिए स्टे रियल, स्टे इंस्पायर्ड एंड एज ऑलवेज थोड़ा सा टिप्सी. जय हिंद.